Arrow. He's going to be over the mic, and we are going to be into some controversial topics in today. Last stream there was some problems. They could not be heard over the mic, so it looks like I'm crazy and talking to myself. Sorry about that. But no worries about that one. Just kind of skip over that, and we'll move right into what we have today. And what it was just on was politics, religion, and the way people think. So today we have something a little bit different, and I'm actually going to pass the mic over to NetTez here so he can actually start this up with the first topic that we have.
Okay. Well, first topic is same-sex marriage, or gay marriage, whatever you want to say, but it's not a bad thing. It's normal to do that. My aunt, both of my aunts are gay. Not a big deal. It doesn't change who they are. I mean, do you think it changes who they are, guys?
I mean, go ahead, Arrow.
Really? Honestly, same-sex marriage doesn't change who you are, but in the eyes of whoever you're talking to, whoever you meet, it might to them, because
could not find new Kel because there is no Kel.
That's kind of just judgment.
Follows a new god, a servitor.
Okay, but then why are people going into saying that being same-sex is non-religious? It's, oh my god, hate these people. Why are they being, like, frowned upon so much?
It's not saying that it's not religious, like Christians who... People that's Christian mainly are saying that people who are dating the same sex are saying that they're going to go to hell right off the bat. Like, they're just saying,
I mean, what if they're okay with going to hell then? Like, like fuck it, let me burn in flames.
that's them, bro. Like, I'm not concerned about whether they'd rather be dating another dude or woman be dating another woman. I mean, it's crazy because guys who are straight thinks that women kissing another woman is so hot and so sexy. Like, well, I'm not saying every man, but most of the people
yeah, but you're right.
Talk to thinks it's so hot, it's so sexy, but when they see another guy kissing another dude, oh no, get that out of my face.
No, but you're right though. That's completely true. And I've heard people be completely against same-sex marriage and whatnot, but they're like, oh man, this lesbian sex scene is great. Like, what the hell?
Right.
So NetTez, a little more input from you. Just a little bit more from you, man.
The way that he said that is, I mean, just because guys are always, they can't keep it in their pants and always think that, like...
Real quick, catch up, NetTez.
When they're like, like, they always love to see that. I mean, just because guys does it doesn't mean they're all gross. It's who they are. I mean, women don't know. I mean, what if it was your family member? Are you gonna judge them differently? You're not gonna judge them anymore?
I've actually seen people completely written out of wills and actually completely shunned because they are dating someone of the same sex. And
they're just assholes and don't know shit.
Okay. Then what are some things that you think need to be talked about? Like, between us on this stream, what should be talked about on this subject?
How people like, oh no, same-sex marriage should be legal, right, and how people think that.
Okay, so then did you hear about the woman who wouldn't sign marriage forms of same-sex couples?
Yeah.
So, what do you think of that? I mean, she has a job to do, and it's been legalized to where same-sex can be married, but because of her religion, she doesn't want to do her job. Now, should that affect you doing your job? I mean, regardless of it being same-sex or not, the law stated that it is now legal, and it has now been put in front of her that it's just against her religion, so she decides not to do her job, but yet she gets to keep it. How does that make you feel?
Well, she's making a bad, a dumb choice over something that isn't. You can do your job still. Just think that, just realize how much happier people will be. I mean, just because one thing about your religion is not all of it. I mean, you don't follow your religion completely.
Okay. I mean, I'm not sure if it's technically against her religion. Maybe same-sex marriage is against her religion, but it's approving it on a document. Does that still go against her religion? I mean,
Honestly, bro, the way I think, yeah, it says in the Bible that God doesn't exactly agree with same-sex relationships and marriage, but I kind of see that as being judgmental as well. And that's kind of questionable in my eyes, because anybody can be dating the same sex but have the same faith in God that anybody that's straight does too. So I want to know why exactly is it that same sex is so discouraged in his eyes? I mean, they say he can see everything.
hey, Nettaz, you gonna help out here in this mission?
Yeah. Oh.
He
what?
says that he can see
no,
everything that's going to happen in your future, so why is he going to judge you for that? It's so heavy.
Yeah, I find that odd too. I mean, before it wasn't even about religion. It was just about the sole fact that it was disgusting. And I was like, okay, you can be disgusted by it, that's fine, and people will do what they want because they don't care how people see them. But when it became a huge problem was when, you know, people were starting to bring religion as a factor. And us as a country of America, you know, America in general, we put religion above everything, which shouldn't be the case in my opinion, but we do that above everything else, so it made people fear coming out of the closet. It made people fear a lot of things. Hey, there you go. So, I find it a little odd that people were okay with being looked at differently until it was considered unreligious. And that's what kind of pissed me off just a little bit. So,
Hey, one thing for
yeah.
it's not allowing me to watch the stream from my PS4, but it's showing right here on my computer.
It is? Okay, good. So then, Nettaz, can you give a little more information on how same-sex marriage is affecting our country today, and how it affects our views?
It's affecting us in an economy, because, or not economy, a society, because we're judging people on their life. That shouldn't be how you judge people. That's like judging a book by its cover.
Okay. What's going on, Nettaz? Are you helping out in this mission or not? Okay. So, it's affecting us as a society and how we view people. That is true. Now, do you think a daily heroic story? So now it's you said economy at first, and I was gonna have a shit ton of questions for you, but you corrected it's a society, so fewer questions. But still, it's affecting us as a society and how we see people. Now, how does that come into as a factor, though, to where how we see people in general?
Well, we're judging people.
As best we can tell, the wolves managed to slip past the base's outer defenses and set up a perimeter around the confluence. Even the Cabal are having trouble prying them out of there.
Keep it to yourself, but you should still respect them for who they are and what they're doing.
Okay. And do you have anything else on the subject in itself of, like, what it does to us as people and how we can possibly change it?
Outspoken, meaning like we don't rely on people like this, and it kind of weakens us in a way.
It weakens us. Okay, that's actually very interesting. A way of putting it. How does it weaken us?
If we don't accept, take people, because we all know everyone has love, but we have our own. Everyone has different kinds of love, right?
Okay, so does that mean it's starting to bring in conditions to loving someone now? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I love this person. If you don't accept it, then too bad. You can't stop someone from not loving you just because you don't
Okay.
unless it was like against the law, but it's not against society. That I don't think that was fine.
I mean, it was originally against the law to marry the same sex, so even then, was that okay? Yeah, loving them wasn't, but still, before it became against the law, before it became to where it was lawful to marry someone of the same sex, how did you view it then?
Back then, I saw it as it was being stupid. Like, it's still marrying. You're giving your life to someone and sharing that adventure with them. No matter if it's still marriage. You're like basically half-assed. You're like making marriage illegal. Half-dead.
Okay.
One more thing, and with that, increase your mic level a little bit because with the screen I can barely hear you.
Okay.
Alright. So then, this is all interesting stuff, you know? I mean, it's affected us as a society to the point to where people who were gay or lesbian, bisexual, however you want to put them, they were marrying the opposite sex to them, even though they didn't love them. And they are considered, you know, their beards, if you will. Now that it's legal, they're starting to come out of the closet, as you would say, and they're starting to upset their current families that they have. So what do you say to those people that made families?
Well, it's because the hate was so back then that they didn't know how to accept it. Destroy it. Way, and the way just came out, and they all know one way.
I bet it's very rough, but now, here's the thing. What do you think they should do now that they've come out of the closet to their family saying, hey, I've actually been gay all this time? And
you don't just tell them to accept it, you tell them why. And help them understand.
I mean, but can't you see that these families are going to be torn apart in some way? I mean, some of these people may stay with the family just because they have kids, you know? But is that the right thing for them to do? Should they actually leave this family, stay with them because they love them as a family, but not necessarily in a physical way?
Well, it tears a lot of them apart because of all the hate it has had. If it was introduced in the beginning as accepted, then it probably has a more positive effect.
Honestly, I have
Okay, yeah, most definitely. Let's hear it.
A kid that is like same sex, they're scared to talk to their parents, not only because of how much people is really judging it right now, but because they don't really know how their parents are going to react to it. Like you said, they should sit there and talk to them about it instead of sitting there telling them to their face like, hey, I'm gay, so you should just accept that because I'm your child and because you love me.
Okay, now, I think we've gone off to the side of what I meant. What I mean marriage. So, these people that are married and gay, and who have a spouse of the opposite sex, and are now coming out to their families like that, in that sense. How? No, spouse is the opposite sex. Spouse being the opposite sex, and they married because being gay was frowned upon.
Oh, okay.
So, what do you think these people should do? Like, yeah, they can come out to their families and whatnot, that they're gay, and do you think that's right for them to do that now, or should they probably just stay in the closet?
Honestly, it's their choice.
Crime
if they want to tell their parents, but to me,
not parents, their spouse.
No God,
spouse.
No Kell. House is broken once again.
What do you mean by
this time?
So originally, before marriage was allowed between the same sex, there were still gay people. Just because they allowed same-sex marriage, it's not like people suddenly turned gay because of that. They had gay people, but well before that hand. So, at that point, being gay was wrong. So, they married the person of the opposite sex because they needed a beard to show, hey, I'm not actually gay, you can't make fun of me. You can't put me down, you can't... society. And they're still married to those people to this day. And what should they do in that situation? It's a tough one, isn't it? Have you ever heard of that? Have you ever heard of that happening before, though? Errol?
Yes, I've actually heard of that happening, but when it comes down to actually having an opinion
and what did I just do?
Actually giving them advice, I mean, I wouldn't know what to tell them.
Okay, let's just... hypotheticals here. Arrow, you're gay and you have a female partner, okay?
Yeah.
And it is now acceptable to be gay. And you've been with her, now you have a child. How do you come out to her, like, with that? Like, what do you do? What do you personally do?
Oh, I was gonna say go to...
Honestly, honestly, there's one of two things you can do, man. Like, you either keep the truth hidden from the spouse, or you can go ahead and be straight up honest with your spouse and tell her what's going on, but not What I would do, man, straight up, I would sit the spouse down. I would bring the man in, and I would let him know
with the
what's been
child.
going on.
Would you let the child know at the same time, though, or would you keep the child in the dark?
I would, bro. No, bro. I mean, your child is gonna learn one day either way, but
okay. So NetTaz,
the truth should be known between everybody. In my opinion, bro, you shouldn't just leave the child out because he's young.
Okay. And NetTaz, you had a different view on this, right? So NetTaz, you disagree with Arrow there. Why is that?
No,
what would I mean?
How are you gonna introduce a kid? I would wait until the kid's at least like 5, or he can speak.
Now the thing is, after telling your spouse, so you both agree that you should tell the spouse, make sure it's not hidden, you know, as soon as it was acceptable and whatnot, and it's no longer feared. Then what? What do you do? Do you stay with them? Do you divorce?
I mean,
tough questions, you guys. Like, these things are hard.
Let's ask his viewers. We're doing a viewer vote now.
We don't get too many viewers, but I would definitely love to hear what the viewers have to say on it, because that's an interesting thing. Because
it's up to the 3 of you, bro. That's up to the 3 people that's in the situation, bro. If they want to stick together, or if they just want to, if the spouse wants to go her separate way, because that, like you said, that is a hard question. But imagine a person that's actually sitting there in that situation, how hard it is for them to decide on what to do, bro. I mean, that's kind of like a life-changing question right there, because the spouse, that's you and her child. So
yeah,
if she wants to take that child with her, then that's when well,
I mean, you guys gotta imagine though, if I were gay, okay, and I had a wife, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh wow, all these people are coming out, maybe I should too. Oh shit, but I have a wife. You know what? I'm gonna be straight up honest with her and my kid. Honestly, I wouldn't matter of the age, but I would stick around them personally.
Yeah.
I would go for that divorce though. I would go for the divorce, and I would stay as good a friend as I possibly could be. No, not even if she was the most ununderstandable person in the world. I have a kid, you know. I would want to be there for that kid. And if I didn't have a kid, you know what? I would hope to God, because I married this person for a reason. Either way, like, I care about this person a lot, just not in a physical sense. So I would be like, you know what? I could be the best gay friend that you possibly have. Something like that, you know, because obviously you're with that person for a reason, because you guys were best friends. So that's just me. I mean, there's definitely loads of things that could be done. I mean, obviously the female's going to be, female or male in the situation, is going to be pissed, livid. They're going to be torn to shit. They won't know what to do with themselves. So it's because you could have been with this person for a year or 10 years. Like, there's just so much stuff that could have happened. Now, think of it this way. NetTaz, let's wrap up your segment just a little bit here. How could you wrap this up in just a nutshell? And so we can move into the next subject.
People need to realize that it's not all about what you think. It's about what other people mean to you and what is good for them, and like accept them who they are. Because you know you want to be part of their lives, but you have to be like adjustable, be understandable. And with that, and like, plus with racism, it's a whole different story.
Speaking of that, speaking of racism right there, that actually is a good way to move into our next topic that we have, racism. And I think Arrow has quite a bit to say on this. So Arrow, what do you have to say on racism, and what kind of questions can you give that can expand upon it?
My question is, why do the black man blame the white people for so much when black people themselves have a lot of fault in where we are in society today?
I mean, you gotta think though, it's the fact that how people see it today in our history books, okay? Just our history books, no others. And Arrow, I think you have a little bit of information to give to the viewers just to expand on that about our history book on the racism, is that black people were the first to be enslaved, and that they were the only ones enslaved. So with our history books and how we, and but that's how our history books view it. I mean, they see Egyptians as the first to be enslaved, and they're like, okay, let's profit off of people in Africa because they have so little. Let's profit off of this piece right here, and it boosted our economy. It really did. I'm not saying I support what they did, but you should have seen our economy back then. We were able to trade with other countries so exponentially. It was absolutely ridiculous, and we had so much to offer that way.
The way I see it, bro, like, it's true, like, because of slavery, our economy did start booming, but there's also other ways that we could have made the economy boom as well, such as instead of going and forcing people to be enslaved, we could have at least tried a different approach first, asking them, hey, you have something that we want. How much would you sell it for? What can we trade for? The bartering system, bro.
Very true. I mean, we had that first set up. I mean, the Arabics first came up with a number system, if I remember correctly. They came up with the number 0 to show that they had nothing. Before it was just a line, like, or left blank even. So, but Arrow, what about our history books is wrong about the first people who were enslaved?
I mean, that's where research comes in. I mean, people that really wants to know where slavery started, there's the internet, but yeah, the internet can tell you many things. That's why you got to search for the truth, and that's why there's a library. It goes way beyond Egypt and the Egyptians.
So how far back did it go? Like, who was the first actual race to be enslaved?
The first actual race to be enslaved was actually the white men, bro.
That is right, man. Now, do you know a whole lot about this subject, or do you want me to expand on it a little?
I actually would like you to expand on that a little bit, because I know that I believe it was the Irish that had been taken over and brought into slavery.
That is right, and actually, if I think so. Now, if viewers are watching and they do their research on this, and I'm going to look it up later as well, correct us if we are wrong. Please do. We love to hear you comment on these things. We love to see the views and your opinions on this. And if I remember correctly, the Irish were enslaved, and they were used as for sex. They were used for manual labor, and they were enslaved not just by white people, but by black people too, because it was economic growth. They were able to get so much more done with their labor force working for little to nothing, except for a roof over their heads and maybe a little food in their belly, but that's about it.
Alright.
So, looking at all of that, how is it that affects our society today?
I mean, today...
I got my mic was off of that.
Today,
I hope you'll get
I
some
mean, I'm just speaking on how I see it, bro. The black people are talking about how the black men, well, not the black men, the white men are responsible for where we are today, how they brought us from Africa all the way to America to be enslaved. And now today, how they're still enslaving us and treating us differently than everybody else, how we don't have the same advantages as the white men, and sometimes, believe it or not, the Mexicans, because there's Mexicans down here that's already starting their own businesses, differentiating from the black man. You barely see.
Tess, calm down, Tess.
I'm so sorry.
You actually barely see us owning businesses. I mean, people are going to high school and actually graduating. There's more of us going to high school, more of us going to college, and actually getting a master's degree, actually trying to succeed in life, actually trying to do something better for ourselves instead of just sitting around blaming the white men for everything that's happening to us. So the people that is sitting here blaming the white men, I mean, I'm not saying all of them that's going to college isn't blaming the white men for some things, but I do notice that the people that's sitting here stuck in the ghetto that's actually went to high school and didn't go to college are the main ones I'm noticing that's blaming the white men for things.
Okay, now here's a bit of information there on that whole graduation bit. Now, what I've seen is that the graduation rates for black people and Hispanic has actually increased by 3.7 and 4.2% over the past, 2 years, compared with the 2.6% for white students. I mean, it's absolutely insane how much that, we've all expanded to this day. Hold on real quick on the broadcast here. NetTaz.
Yo.
What's going on, man?
Well, I think that...
No, I mean, like, what's going on with you here? Why are you just standing there? We gotta continue on with the missions and whatnot.
Oh, I'm watching the end of the game. Sorry.
And you're kind of just dozing off there on the actual missions. I get you're interested in the broadcast. We gotta get these missions done too. Alright, back into the broadcast. So, with how these percentage rates have been fluctuating, white people's graduation rate only went up 2.6% in the past 2 years, while blacks and Hispanics have gone up 3.7 and 4.2% over the past 2 years. Now, that may not sound like a lot, but you have to think that there's so much going on. NetTaz, come on, get with the mission. Let's go. Come on, man. The mission, NetTaz. You gotta move. You gotta move your body.
I was sitting on the remote. Alright. Alright. Now, can I put my opinion?
Yeah, I'm asking, how is it affecting our situation today? How is it affecting our lifestyle, racism in general?
Okay, do you know how when the cops were were criticized because they hurt police folks like fine? Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That they just did that because they're racist and they hate black people. And maybe because the black person was resisting arrest and force. So, no offense, Arrow.
Okay, but I mean, there's no need to say no offense here in these conversations. I mean, who cares if offense is taken? If you're butthurt, get out of the conversation. To be honest with you, so
Okay.
I'm gonna be brutally honest here. I'm not apologizing for nothing of what I say and how I say it. So
that alone, though, that's a lot of bad invitation to blacks and whites. And also,
okay,
like,
now hold on that.
like,
Police. Now, I've never seen police need to use like excessive force to where they break somebody's spine.
Exactly.
no, I know what I'm saying is because they thought that they did because the black matches. I think it was they were saying it was a purposeful and not an accident.
I mean, that might have been the case, though. It could have been on purpose.
Well, they were just jumping to conclusions because of the natural. Oh, white face, black.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, but you have to see how police force treat white people differently than they do blacks.
Yeah.
I mean, what have you seen here that over the course of our history? Like, are casualties to white people under the custody of police versus the casualties of black people under police is astronomically different. There's been over 500 deaths of black people under police custody just within a year. A year. You know what it is for white people?
What?
Under 50.
Seriously?
That is a huge difference. Less than 10%. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. So you have to see, I mean, something's going on there.
True.
And also, just one more thing to add to that. The police officers that did go into court about those offenses, more than half of them got away with that.
92% have gotten away with it. Only, I think, between 5 and 10 cops have actually been convicted. The others are either resigned or kept their job and just went on as if nothing has happened. Now, here's the thing, though. With how things have gone with that, the Baltimore riots, okay? Now, does police killing a black man justify them coming out and killing their own people, killing and, you know, rioting all across the streets? Does killing one of their own justify them going out and doing all these absolutely ridiculous riots?
Honestly, bro, kind of off topic, but a police officer's job under that badge is to protect the citizens of the United States of America, bro. When they're going out and they're killing people, like Natas might have said, don't let me get it wrong, bro. if somebody is assisting arrest or resisting arrest, and they're breaking somebody's back, I don't see that as necessary, bro. I don't care if it's a 400-ton man. If that's the purpose of calling for backup to help.
That's a pretty big man.
Down,
like that's a pretty big man there. 400 tons. Like one ton is 2,000 pounds. So.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Call for backup to help you take him down. Cause yeah, it's gonna take you more than 1, 2, 3 men to take him down.
Okay, we need to get off the whole police force subject because we can actually go back into that on a later broadcast. So then, going away from the police subject there, how does racism affect our schools? How does it affect people getting jobs? How does it affect our society and our economy? Both.
Okay, bro. Many yourself. Just like. Okay.
Because I want to hear both of your opinions on that one.
There's a school down here, bro, called Estacado High School.
Okay.
So, if you graduated from Estacado High School, I forgot the name of the restaurant down here that my mom said that if you graduated from Estacado High School, they will not hire you because of the problems that they're having up there at Estacado.
Wow. But, I mean, they received their high school diploma, though, right? You mean graduated. They got their high school diploma. They can go out and start working, bro. And, you know, that gives them a better chance of being hired. You're saying that they have...
They're not going to hire anybody from Estacado because of the problems that they're having with their students up there to this day.
Wow. That is actually incredible. Now, are they discriminating against a certain race type? What if, let's say I graduated from Estacado High School. I'm white. Does that change their view on me in general? Or is it just Estacado high schoolers in all, not regarding race?
Honestly, I don't know the whole story, bro. Because it's just something that I heard from my mom. But I'm pretty sure if you were white, because honestly, bro, there's barely any white kids going to Estacado, bro. Estacado consists of mainly black, Mexicans, and not even like 1% white, bro.
Wow. That's absolutely incredible. So now do you consider that, now do you see how they're getting around the whole racism thing though? They're singling out just an entire high school. They're not singling out just the race. But since Estacado is mainly blacks and Hispanics, but there's still a few white people there, could that still be considered racist?
It can. I believe it can. That's the reason why I brought it up, bro.
I mean, Nettaz, what about you? Do you think that's racist if they're just going against an entire high school instead of just a race?
No. They're going after not a race, and they're just taking a big work.
I mean, it's okay to have your own view on it. That's fine. It's...
Well, because it's majority that targeting a bunch of oh, these are all just
bro. So, you want to hear the actual...
Okay.
You want to hear the actual post?
Yes, please. Most definitely. And say where you got it from.
This is from Facebook, from my mother's wall, which is Danielle Hayes.
Okay.
And it says, who says racism doesn't exist? Well, chocolate folks trying to apply at Texas Roadhouse in Lubbock, Texas, and apparently their manager doesn't believe that Estacado High School students won't amount to anything due to the stereotype problems that spread.
Ooh, right there. Right there, I'm sorry to cut you off. Stereotype problems. Ouch. Okay. That is... Wow. I'm sorry, I'm in shock at that. Now, who made that post? I mean... no, I mean, under what article? Are you able to see what article? Or is it just that's what your mother has said?
Yes, bro, that's what my
Person.
mom said.
Holy cow, that is incredible.
Your mom's insane.
Now, that's something a little bit deeper there. The stereotypical problems. So, what is considered a stereotypical problem? I mean, black people are always fighting. Black people are robbing. I mean, black people love watermelon. I mean, something like that. Like,
yeah, I mean, about that, bro. That's one other thing about racism, bro. Like, they're blaming like the white cops for coming around and killing our people and all this and da da da. But really, bro, take a step back from the police, bro. Look around for a second. I'm sitting here in my home city where a couple years ago you wouldn't have heard more than 4 gunshots around the place you lived in. But today, bro...
I mean, 4 gunshots is still quite a bit, though. The gunshots is something serious.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hearing today, bro. Because I used to never hear gunshots where I stayed at, which is really the east side, where I only stayed at, bro. And I wouldn't hear gunshots anywhere. Not on the news report. I mean, it was rarely heard of. And now today, people are talking about white men killing black men, but really, the black man is really who's out here killing each other more than the police are. So we really need to take a step back from racism and look how we doing each other, because we can't even trust each other these days.
So hold on, are you saying that the stereotype is true, that most black people are within gangs and putting themselves down? I mean, are you saying that stereotype is true?
I mean, I'm so sad to say, but that's really how I see it, bro, because that's how I mean, you can see it, bro. Teens out here making babies.
But is that geared towards black people only, or is that the majority, or is it equalized between races? I mean, how do you see it though? How do you see it personally? What you've seen, is it mainly blacks, Hispanics, Asians, whites? You know.
I mean, I'm mainly seeing it in my face, bro.
Black people in general.
People talking about guns, bro, like it's cool. People talking about selling drugs like it's cool.
I mean, isn't that the thing nowadays, though? Doing drugs, making sure that you stay on top of your shit and getting high? Like, isn't that the thing now?
Not for every person out there, bro, because there's people out here that don't even smoke, and they're still down there trying to get to where they want to go, bro.
Huh.
But after that, they're being brought down because people only see us as people that want to go around making babies, selling drugs, killing people, and all that.
So how hard does that make it for you guys to actually get a job, to be able to go and get into college?
You want to know the honest to God truth?
I want to know your honest to God opinion on this, for sure.
I mean, when I was first searching for a job before I got hired at Walmart, and I put my actual race which was
The Black
African
Garden
American,
remains here among the light.
I applied at United,
But the vets will
Target.
never cease until
I
their
applied
birthplace is
once at
restored.
Walmart.
And we must keep it
I
here
applied at
until we can
FedEx.
understand its
I
origins.
applied at 7-Eleven. Pretty much almost everywhere in Lubbock.
Right. I mean, but it's naturally hard to get a
know.
job, though, isn't it? Because I've done that before, where I've applied at a bunch of places, and it took me a while to get hired, and I'm white.
But that's the funny thing, bro. Once I put,
What
I
was
just
gonna
did
go-
this as a test, bro. I put my race as white on one of my applications. And guess which application that was?
Which one?
Walmart.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. I mean, you're obviously not white. You're dark as night. So...
I'm not that dark, you know.
So then, how does that actually affect you in the job world itself? How did they see you then?
I mean, I don't know if this was just because I put that one different answer on that application or not.
But still, that's a little
But
odd.
I find it.
Ooh, I'm looking at
Yeah,
our time here.
that's-
I'm sorry. But I gotta cut you off for the racism topic, and we only got a little bit of time left for the next one that's actually coming up here. And I don't mean for me to be rude towards Arrow here or nothing, viewers, but I'm just trying to get through these 3 topics that we have, and the topic that I have for this is social media. Now, I find social media absolutely hilarious, and I mean I'm serious, because you got to think. My first my first one is Tumblr. Oh my God, Tumblr! If you use it, I feel sorry for you. I really do. That's just me. Because, I mean, just think of it. All the Tumblr posts I've seen is people getting the most booty tickled over the simplest of things. Like, I'm serious. There was somebody that posted about, oh, my cat's so cute, and somebody was just like, no, it's not. That one's ugly. What the hell? My dog's cuter than that. Like, they took offense to a cute little kitten being posted. How can you do that? I don't understand. Like, it doesn't make sense. People over social media are absolutely ridiculous. Even Facebook, oh my God. There's people who hate other people, but yet they have them on their friends list. You're accepting this friend request from somebody you don't even know. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you accept... Oh, but this person has no friends on Facebook, so who cares? You don't know them. Let them friend request somebody that they know, not some random ass person. I mean, do you know the dangers out there of predators and shit? Like, you don't know what's going on. It's absolutely insane how people are willing to put themselves out there to somebody they don't even know. I saw a test on YouTube before, and check these guys out. They're model pranksters, okay? Like, it's absolutely incredible. And they did this test to kids who have been told, you know what, don't talk to strangers. Social media is dangerous. That's what we all use nowadays, is we talk to people over these things without even seeing them, you know? And it's absolute. But here's the difference. You're talking to me. That's fine and all. I'm somebody that you've been talking to for a while over a game. But these people, what they did was, hey, let's meet up since we live in the same area. And these kids have been told multiple times over, don't meet up with somebody that you don't know. Don't talk to... Don't do this, don't do that. And these kids, within 24 hours or less, next thing you know, they were at this person's house that they didn't know. But they stood in there anyways. Now, they were there, and luckily for them, it wasn't some stranger, but their parents set it up. It was a setup, thankfully for that child, because that child could never be seen again. and that's a high possibility. So, thankfully, it was a setup. But that's dangerous. I mean, don't you guys think so? I mean, Nettez, you're bringing up a good point, though. You're talking to me. You haven't seen me in person, but you're talking to me. You have. I mean, what about that?
Well, we met over a game that we both like. I mean, I guess you could say that's different.
But I mean, okay, so let's say I say, hey, dude, I'm in your area. Let's meet up, bro. What's your address?
Well, then that's going a little far.
I mean,
well,
but...
actually, I probably wouldn't be mind doing that.
But I say, hey, but you have to be alone.
Yeah. I know my limits. I know my limits. I came out wrong.
Okay, but dude, like,
I know how to take care of myself. Sorry.
Okay, but I could say the same thing. I mean, I'm turning 21 here in a few days, and me honestly, I'm not gonna be catfishing with nobody like that. I'm gonna be like, hey, nah, I'm good. Let's just continue talking over the game. You know, I'm not willing to meet up with you or nothing. I'm good. You know, I mean, I know all sorts of things on how to protect myself, and believe me, I know how. But I still wouldn't risk the fact of somebody knowing my address, and then all of a sudden, I have strangers popping up at my door. I have these other things going on and stuff. So take that into consideration, Nettez. You know, be careful, man. Because that's something that you got to watch out for. I mean, Arrow, what do you think on that? I mean, Nettez saying, you know what, this is okay with meet up with Foryou right here because, you know, I've been talking to him for a while and I wouldn't mind that. I know how to take care of myself. What do you think about that?
Well,
I mean, Arrow, let's say I didn't know you because I know you in person and everything, but let's say we didn't see each other at all. I mean, how do you see that right there?
I mean, yeah, that is a pretty dangerous thing if you don't know a person because anybody can pick up a mic, play a game professionally, be like, hey, bro, you want to come over to my house? And somebody could say yes without actually knowing who that person is, and he could be planning to kidnap you, murder you, molest you.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you wouldn't even know it. But sometimes, especially before I go on to the next thing, especially if it's a female playing the game. Now I hope females are more
cautious.
Well, that's what I meant to say. Cautious than that, because there's especially gonna be guys on here that's gonna be that way, looking for females, because sometimes for most guys that's a rarity. And they're gonna be like, "Oh, I wonder what I can do to this," in their mind, but in their voice, that you will never know a single thing. So,
right?
Yeah, there's definitely a safety hazard in that. But I have read that connecting with people like that.
I'll be on in just a second.
Still happiness in one person, and. In happiness, I mean, somebody got together after playing the game together online, was like, hey, you want to come over? They actually made a special bond with each other, and now to this day, they're married. They're happy together.
Yeah, okay. Now, I'm sorry to cut this short, but I love to see the different views here on what we've had today on racism, on same-sex marriage, and on social media. And the social media one was shorter than I would have liked it to have been. But, you know, I think we got the general concept of it down. You know, be safe and whatnot, and be careful. But you're going to do what you're going to do. So, I got to end this broadcast here. But I want to thank viewers for watching and whatnot. And definitely comment below. I would love to see what it is that you guys think about these subjects. I want to know your opinions. I want to know everything that you guys are thinking about this, and correct us on any information that we give you as well. Especially if you have different views. If you disagree with us, please disagree. I love disagreement. I love it, I love it, I love it. Because that means we get to learn more. So I want to thank you viewers again for watching. Thank you for being a part of this, and be ready for our next video coming up, and it'll be 3 more topics, controversial topics. It'll be controversial topic part 2, and hopefully we'll have some more interesting stuff for you guys. So thank you for watching. This is Foryou25 the King, signing off. Y'all have a good one.